Hello and welcome. Today's project is all about Googling your symptoms. Why is Googling only causing more anxiety? And how can we break this pattern so that you can move to a better state and get out of that anxiety identity that you're currently stuck in? And there's a way out because I found a way out. Now, why do people Google their symptoms? Well, they believe, they have these beliefs within themselves that they're unhealthy, that they're ill. Okay, so how did these beliefs form? Well, when someone is dealing with the anxiety response produces a wide range of bodily sensations. And so that person, they feel icky. They don't feel good because anxiety causes some strange symptoms, and then that person misinterprets those symptoms as being life threatening. Okay, so what are these symptoms? Well, the symptoms can be chest pains, heart palpitations, a racing heart, body zaps, body pains, because when you're in anxiety mode, what happens is all your blood is rushing to the muscles so that you can react properly to a perceived danger. And so it causes a lot of body zaps, body pains, muscle tension, stiffness, many aches and pains. It causes hyperventilation, it causes depersonalization, dizziness, lightheadedness, nausea, constant urination, constant going to the toilet for number two, all of these different things, sweating as well. So you can easily misinterpret these sensations as being life-threatening. So that person then goes to Google for the answers because they're in unknown territory. They don't know they have anxiety. They're just misinterpreting all of these sensations as being something serious. So they have this belief about themselves that they're ill, that they're unwell. So they go to Google because they're in unknown territory. They're wandering around in the desert, lost. They're confused. They don't know what's going on. They're looking for help. They go to their doctor. The doctor says, "You're fine." They checked you. You did x-rays, you got your blood drawn, you did a urine test, whatever it is. You come back home, but then you still feel the sensations. And so what do? You go to Google. Google says this thing, this most catastrophic outcome, and then that leaves you bewildered and confused, and you're left in that limbo state. You don't know what's going on. So when you Google, the thing about Google is that when you do look up the symptom, you're going to get the most searched result. You're going to get the most catastrophic result, and that's going to snowball your anxiety even more. That's the thing about Google is the symptom is tagged with cancer of this certain part you're looking up. And so that drives you into panic mode because that catastrophic outcome already fits with your belief of being unhealthy. You're already expecting unconsciously for that most worst scenario, and you're going to get it from Google. That's for sure. So you look it up, it's cancer, it's some serious disease. That sends you into panic mode. Oh, I knew I have it. You act like an expert. Oh, I knew it. That's what it was. I have this thing. And then you tell your loved ones, you tell the people around you, I have this thing. And then it becomes the top of your values list because now you're fearing your own mortality, right? We all have a fear of death to some extent, but to an anxiety sufferer, they're so sensitive to that fear. And so now their fear of their mortality and having this cancer, having this disease is at the top of their values list. They're not worried or concerned about work or their loved ones or any other responsibilities around them. Now they're fearing, oh my God, my mortality. what, and now they're sent and they're snowballed down this path of more and more anxiety. So that catastrophic outcome from Google, it fits with that person's identity, their map of the world, right? And so then that person relies on Google, because what happens is, like I said earlier, anxiety produces so many different sensations, right? So when one sensation goes away, another one pops up. So then when that sensation pops up, that person then Googles that thing. And then once that goes away and something else pops up, then they Google that thing. And so now Google is part of this vicious cycle that's keeping your anxiety high. It's snowballing. And I used to do this all the time, because I would look at a mole and I would be discolored, and then I would Google it and I would be sent, oh my God, it's cancer. And then as soon as I was not focused on that thing, and I was focused on a body pain, I would Google that body pain. Oh my God, it's kidney disease. And so this whole sensitization was kept alive, because when you react, anxiety attacks. When you react, anxiety attacks. When you react, anxiety attacks. Because the more emotion you give something, the more your anxiety response is like, danger, danger. And then it becomes the top of your values list. You don't care about going to work now. You avoid going to work. You avoid get-togethers. You don't care about that stuff anymore, because now you're focusing on these things that are a potential threat to your life. So, let's talk more about the bad of Googling. Well, Googling keeps you dependent, right, on the content Google's providing you for answers, because you're in limbo. You are in this unknown territory. And then it keeps you stuck there in that unknown, because like I said before, you go to the doctor says, okay, Brad, you're good. I checked everything and everything seems to be okay. But then you still feel the sensations. You don't know it's anxiety. You Google it. It's a worst case scenario. And then it leaves you bewildered. And then you're like, I don't understand. The doctor says this thing. Google says this thing. And now I don't know what to think. And then you remain in that unknown territory. And then you snowball your anxiety even more. Now your anxiety is at an 8, 9, or a 10. Every single day you're highly sensitive to the world around you. And then you rely on Band-Aids to suppress that pain, to suppress the symptoms. And so then you keep going to those doctor visits over and over again. You keep hanging around loved ones for reassurance, or you rely on alcohol to suppress the pain, or you rely on drugs, or then you rely on junk food. You become dependent on these things. You avoid going to work. You avoid any social get-together, because now the most valuable thing in your life is worrying about the certain symptom that you're ruminating over. Because the more you ruminate over it, the more it stays alive. And so it's time to break the pattern that you've developed. Because I developed this pattern, this reaction, and then the anxiety attacks. The more you react, the more anxiety attacks. So I had to break this pattern, and to do this, I had to work on just the breaking of it, where I had an elastic band on my wrist, and so to stop that snowball, I would slap the elastic band on my wrist, notice that, oh man, I'm too preoccupied. I'm too focused on my sensations. I have to break this. And so I would then flip the switch and be like, okay, I'm going to think about this instead. I'm going to think more rationally about it. And so it's about breaking the pattern of Googling. Googling is not good. We've already talked about that. So replace Googling with something else. The elastic band technique is great. And the more you slap the band, the more you keep breaking that pattern. Also, what if thinking, switch the what if thinking. So what if this is cancer? What if this is a heart attack? What if this is a heart disease? Whatever it is you're concerned about, switch the switch. Flip the switch. So instead of what if it's a heart attack, what if it isn't a heart attack? What if it is anxiety? What if I'm just stressed out? What if I'm just not eating properly? Switch it, right? From the most catastrophic outcome to something different. So you start going down a different path. Start breaking the pattern. So try these techniques. Very powerful, and keep doing them. Instead of Googling, take a walk instead. Instead of Googling, meditate, because anxiety sufferers, they don't want to be alone in their own skin. They feel disconnected. They're not comfortable with who they are. So when you start to face your fears of your own mortality, the fears of your symptoms, what happens? You start to become comfortable. You start to recognize for the symptoms as what they are rather than the thoughts of what they could be. Because I'll tell you this before I end the video. The symptoms I had before, and then the thoughts, the most catastrophic thoughts about the symptoms, they never came true. I thought I had kidney disease. I thought I had cancer. I thought my heart was all screwed up, and I thought I had heart disease. I thought a headache was brain tumor. Never came true. So it's time to break the patterns. It's time to look at things from a different perspective. And Googling, it's not going to help. It's only going to snowball your anxiety. You have strong beliefs about yourself that you're unhealthy. Google is only going to support those beliefs. It's time to break those patterns. Thank you so much for being here with me today. And remember, do not let anxiety define who you are, because you are not anxiety, right? That's right. I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now. Remember to hit that subscribe button and that bell so that whenever a new video of mine appears, you will be the first to know. Namaste.